Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, where we have a global audience and we help people share their stories. We provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Our show today is The Art of Creating Mental Health Wealth. And joining me is my friend and colleague. She's actually in East Africa, and she has been working with people who are suffering through depression. They've thought about suicide, they've attempted suicide, and based on her own experience in her life and with what happened with her daughter, she has created something called World Jenny's Day, as well as the Epiphany process. Let's welcome her to the show, and then we'll bring out our special guest. Welcome, JENETTA Barry and the Epiphany process.
Hello, Dr. JACALYN. Hello, everybody. Wonderful to be back again. And on the other side of World Jenny's Day, which was just amazing and just so precious to have this platform and Dr. JACALYN so much a part of this. So, so welcome. I actually got cut off, so I'm not quite sure how much you said, Dr. JACALYN. But yeah, it's an honor and a pleasure to be back and to share. We've got a very interesting, engaging guest today who, by the sounds of it, has also walked the walk and talked the talk to become the authority he is today. Am I right, Dr. JACALYN?
Absolutely. Yes. We're going to be bringing him out very shortly. I had the pleasure of interviewing him on the Business Talk Show with Mr. Alcini. Before we bring him out, JENETTA, for people who are unaware of World Jenny's Day, I shared with our audience that you've been working with people who are going through struggles with mental health, who are thinking about suicide, who've attempted suicide. And if you could give a little bit of your backstory, number one, and then number two, what would you say were some key takeaways from World Jenny's Day this year?
Thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Yes, I've been helping people internationally online for many, many years. And that came about after I lost my 16-year-old daughter, Jenny, to suicide after she and I had an argument. And I really didn't think I was going to make it through. I actually planned my suicide 3 times after she died because I lost everything. I went down to ground zero in every area of my life. And one day I was crossing the street mindlessly and got halfway across and remembered that I had forgotten I had choice and that I could still live a life, and I didn't need to have a lifetime label of only being the mother who lost their daughter to suicide after an argument. And I started studying and researching and walked that walk and talk that talk. And now I help people through. I've helped people through terrorist attacks, kids that are self-harming, stuck in bed, not eating, not washing, writing suicide notes. They're living lives again. I've helped many people in all walks of life through the most amazing things. And several years after Jenny, my 16-year-old daughter who died, several years afterwards, we realized she had died on World Mental Health Day. So we now have World Jenny's Day, and we use the day to use theatre, performing arts, the arts, to soften and normalize conversations around depression, suicide, and their solutions. And as Dr. JACALYN was saying, we spent 16 hours last Monday on World Mental Health Day saying, where in the world is World Jenny's Day? And performers, high standard performers from all over the world stepped up to the plate and started performing for World Jenny's Day and celebrating mental health wellness, because it's such an easy, not that there isn't a challenge or a problem. This isn't denying that there isn't, but it's such an easy trap to go into a day like that. And it's all discussions about what's wrong and not what's not working, and that there needs to be a solution to what's not working. And that's very helpful. But what I've noticed after having put on a theatrical production on depression, suicide, and its solutions, how people soften when the message of what isn't working is portrayed through the arts. It softens their understanding and their reaction. So people were coming out of the theatre 3 or 4 years ago when we first put this production on, talking about their mental health issues, like they were saying, I met up with so-and-so for coffee last week. Very powerful. And that's what last Monday did. People began to feel different. When you're in your creative zone, you feel more at one with the universe, and conversations soften. And Dr. JACALYN and myself and Madeline Chan, who is also a co-host and a Talking Heads authority on this platform, on this channel, we sat through 16 hours. We went all over the world. In fact, we finished off the whole 16 hours with LA and Tokyo. And in LA, we had a whole street art mural done for World Jenny's Day in the streets of LA. And then we went over to celebrities in Tokyo who celebrated with us too. The top Michael Jackson impersonator in Tokyo and Gaucho. It was amazing, amazing, amazing day. We had opera singers, West End performers who've been on Britain's Got Talent. We just had so much to offer, and people joyfully stepping forward and sharing their art, and the laughter and the upliftment and the celebration that there are always solutions is what last Monday was about. It's such an honor to have this platform to put it on.
Thank you so much, JENETTA, for sharing the information. And we will be posting in the chat where people can go and watch the show in case they missed it. So thank you again. I'm going to be bringing out our guest, and our discussion topics today are how to create and maintain a prosperity mindset, and how to see yourself in a healthier, more life-giving way and attain prosperity in the process. Our guest is Dr. Tamir, and I hope I say your name right, your last name right, Dr. Tamir Qadree. You'll let me know. He's so special. We interviewed him, as I mentioned, on the Business Talk Show. He's a business and personal strategist, a trainer, a mentor, a coach. He's also known as the Dean of Dynamic Results. He has a double doctorate in the field of metaphysical physiology, specializing in personal development coaching, mentoring, mind and mystical research. The powers of the mind, influence, and attraction has captured the minds and imagination of the world over the past 15 years. And he's a leader in this field of study. And he says we can all achieve dynamic results. Joining us from the West Coast of the United States, let's welcome Dr. Tamir. Hello, welcome.
Hello, how are you? Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us so early. I appreciate that. You're a go-getter and an early riser, so we're thrilled to have you. And Doctor, I said to you backstage, what did you want our audience to take away from this particular show? And you answered?
I answered?
Yes, tell our audience.
Okay. I thought you were going to play what I answered, what I said. Okay, I want you to take away one thing from this whole show from me, is that not only can we achieve and maintain a prosperity mindset, we have to understand that we can achieve that, but it takes work to do it. You have to be in the game every day. You can definitely achieve a prosperity mindset. There are certain steps to do that. There are universal steps, and they do work if you work them. You'll take that away from my talk today. Hopefully you'll get that.
Thank you. Brilliant. So, JENETTA, you work with people and you get results. And, Doctor, you do the same. I'd love to hear the two of you kind of brain share here about how you're both using your processes to get results. JENETTA, let's start with you.
Well, I can hear, for starters, a very similar approach and energy from you, Dr. Tamir. It's very much, I talk about mental and emotional daily gym that that my clients actually work through, because what I heard from you was that mind prosperity is a skill set. And skills require practice. And once you've imparted that, you help them to practice that. Am I correct?
That's absolutely correct. Well said.
Yeah. So, I mean, how powerful is this? I mean, you're an author of 5-6 books on this subject. I was hugely impressed with it. And I would love to know a little bit more about what it is you do with the people you work with and expand with and do so much successfully with them. Would you be able to share that?
Yes, I can say, first of all, I love your story. Your story encapsulated much of what I want to talk about today. You went from your daughter, talk about your daughter, and it's a really touching story, and how she committed suicide in a conversation, after a conversation with you or whatever, and how you took that, and you turned that into a prosperity mindset thing. People think prosperity is just money when they hear prosperity, but prosperity is happiness, health, wealth, and all those things. If you don't have all those things, you really don't have true prosperity. I was really impressed by you, that story you told. I would like to hear more about your story. That was very impressive. I mean, how deeper can you get than someone committing suicide that's close to you, a daughter, and you can turn it around like that? And that's because you went through a mental process. You refused to give up, and every day you drip, 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 and here you are now. That's what that inspired me. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Tamir. I actually read that you've been through a lot of working through life tests as well, so that it's not just theory. And so thank you for that. I really appreciate it, because it was quite a story, and getting through it, I had to research and study, and it really has helped me to help other people, because they go, we get that you get us because you've been through it. And that's why I've been so inspired to have you with us today, because I want to hear what it is that you went through to get to magnificently write books and be the success you are for people today as well. I'd love to hear more of that.
Well, that's a very interesting story. I can start when I was a boy in Chicago. I was raised in a family that about 13 people in a 2-bedroom house in an apartment in Chicago, and we didn't have very much as far as material, but I had a very loving mother and a very strong father. The mother was very loving. The father was very strong. They both loved us. We learned to appreciate what we had, but it was a struggle. It was a struggle living in Chicago, living in an underprivileged area, and being raised in that time in our lives. There was a lot of turmoil in the United States at that time, which I didn't understand, but I could feel it. And growing up the way I grew up, with basically a poverty mindset of things that you can't have, you're not supposed to have. Those other people can have, but you can't. I've always had something in me from the time before I could even remember, that I can be, do, and have whatever I want. This is real stuff. I didn't read that from no one. I wasn't reading books at that time on self-help, self-development. I had that inside of me, and I knew there was something better for me. And so what I would do is I painted a picture in my head of what I wanted, a picture. And I began to move toward those pictures without knowing the process. So there have been a lot of struggles in my life. I've had clients that committed suicide. A client that committed suicide. We're writing a book project, and she had things going on in her life that I didn't know about, and it came out and it showed up as suicide. We're publishing an anthology, and I was the publisher and also her coach, and she committed suicide, and that really knocked me to my knees. And a fellow coach of mine asked me, "Why did it knock you to your knees?" I said, "Because I'm not used to people committing suicide on my watch." It's very hurtful, very painful. I've had family members tragically pass. I've been abused as a child. I was sexually abused repeatedly as a little boy. There's nothing I could do about it. And through all of that, to make a long story short, through all of that, through being raised in a household like that with loving parents eventually separated. I knew they loved us. Children struggling for success, struggling for attention, being in an area where people thought certain ways. But I got a hold to some music one day. It was by Earth, Wind, and Fire, a song called "Keep Your Head to the Sky. The Clouds Will Tell You Why." There are things you're going to do that are wrong, but you'll eventually get it. The master in you will arise. And I wrote my book, The Reclining Master Awakened, primarily off that song when I was 13 years old. That happened to me. And so I knew inside of me there was something different. I knew regardless of the circumstances, I could change my world. So I began to study and grow and develop and speak to people and talk to people, listen to programs. But I did one thing I want you to know. I took action. I really believed that stuff. I began to say that stuff, and it began to show up at a very young age. That's just a short synopsis, a short story on where I am right now. It's a long story. That's a short version.
Wow. Thank you, Doctor, for your candor and transparency. I really appreciate that. When you think about you back then and those challenges that you were going through and where you are today, you have come so far. And yet others who are in that situation right now today, and they're feeling hopeless. What are some of the things in addition to what you already shared? Somebody right now watching this program or listening to this program, they're thinking, I am abused. I'm living in squalor. I don't know where my next meal is coming from. There's no way I'm ever going to get out of this. What do you say to them?
Well, first of all, I've been homeless before. I know what it feels like to not have a bed to sleep in, to be cold, sleep under a bench, sleep on concrete. I know what it's like. Okay. Here's what I would say to them. Here's what I didn't do. I never lost hope. I never stopped thinking in positive, prosperous ways. Never. When thoughts come to me that were down thoughts, I would not stay there. So you can get knocked down, but I would get back up. I would always tell myself, I'm prosperous. I'm happy. I can do it. I will do it. I never stop that. That may sound corny to some people. It may sound a little far-fetched, but no, it's true. People read about those things in books. A lot of authors write books they haven't experienced. I experienced it. I kept those thoughts. I kept those can-do thoughts. A little short story about that. When I was 14, my sister came to Chicago, and she wanted me to go to California with her to have a better lifestyle for me. She picked me out of the other children because I wanted to go with her. I was ambitious. And I said, okay, I'm going. All summer, I told everybody I was going to California to start a better life. And I was saying it every day. I was excited about it, enthused about it. And the summer was ending. My sister ran out of money to come get me. My mother said, she lied to you. I thought she didn't lie to me. Maybe she don't have the money. She didn't have the money. And so she said, you're going to school this weekend, Monday. And I said, I'm going to California, 14 years old. People on the block began to mock me about that. The block was very close to the older people that knew me, that heard about it. You're not going to California. No, I said, yes, I'm going to California. I'm not going to prepare to go to school Monday because I'm going to California. This is a true story. 14-year-old boy. Well, I went home Saturday, and they were saying, are you ready for school? I had one pair of pants, two pair of pants. I'm not going to that school. I'm going to California. My older brother walked in the door one day. This is an absolutely amazing story. He walked in. He said, me and my young wife decided to move to California. You're going with us. Just like that. That happened. That actually happened, right? And that's the story of how I got to California. That actually happened, a 14-year-old boy. I would not give up on a thought. I would not give up on it. Look what happened.
Amazing. I just love that, because what I'm hearing is that in not giving up hope, it's giving a message that there's always a solution when you've got hope. There's always a solution. There's always a way through. There's always one way or another to get to whatever it is you're doing. And so many people forget that there's always that solution. And hope is the driver. That is amazing. Huge
That's an
respect
incredible
to you.
story.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, so having done that as a 14-year-old and possibly and more than likely gone through many more trials and tribulations, when did you get to the point where you decided it's time to study, or I'm able to study and I could do a double doctorate to get to where I am? Where did that start fitting in? That's huge respect to you.
Thank you. That came in actually much later. Actually, I was on a metaphysical path, the self-help path. Self-help comes from metaphysics. Metaphysics come from mysticism, by the way. Okay, I was already on that path. I read many books. Been speaking for years. I've always been told, "Hey, you're a speaker, you're a writer," since I was a little boy. I've been doing this since I was a little boy. I didn't know it was a field. I've been doing it. I was always known as a positive thinker or someone that dreams. And I realized that those who chase dreams are the only ones that catch the dream. So I started dreaming more. People that don't dream don't catch them. And so I decided to get the double doctorate when I had a coach, a wonderful coach in Southern California about 13 years ago. And I saw her title, and she had a doctorate. I researched her university and went further into it. I said, this is what I've been doing all my life. I've been doing this kind of thinking. I started reading self-help books. I started doing metaphysical books years ago. And I said, wait a minute, this is the way I think anyway. There's a field that actually does this. Then I got involved. Then I got involved with university, got with Dr. Leon Masters, ended up doing 2 doctorates and working on a 3rd one right now. That's how that came about. The doctorate came about because people actually will listen to you. You have a title. I'll be honest with you. They'll listen to you. They'll listen to you more. Now, all titles, some titles just titles. All people that have the title don't use it. Some titles are just titles. I want the title because I love the work. The title is just something nice to come along with it. I actually love the work of metaphysics. I actually believe in doing it. I get up early in the morning. I actually do it. I'm crazy enough to do this stuff, to believe this stuff, and to keep doing it, and I get results. I'm bold enough to do it, and that's what it takes, boldness to do it. I'm working on my 3rd one right now in conscious business ethics.
Doctor, I have to say, having 1 doctorate, and that took 7 years, I have such respect for you and what you're doing. Congratulations. You are a trailblazer and just an incredible human. I have a follow-up question for you, because this comes up a lot, and I may have asked you this on the other program, but it really warrants revisiting it. I hear this over and over again. I've said it myself numerous times, not having a paycheck every week like I used to when I was in corporate. We get so bogged down about money and we don't know where it's coming from. And yet people want our money. They're calling for the money. They're emailing us. They're mailing us. They're like, where is the money? And yet we're like, I'm filled with hope. I'm filled with drive. I'm filled with ambition. But yet it's always about the money. What do we do so we don't lose our hope and we keep moving forward?
I love that question. I love that question. Here's what people do. Money is a terrible master, but a wonderful servant. That's a very good. I love saying that because I think P.T. Barnum's wrote that. Ringling Brothers, Barnum Bailey Circus years ago. They say that he said, money is a terrible master, but a wonderful servant. Here's what it is. Money is very important in the field that money works in. When I got a corporate America, see, I'm the kind of guy, I cannot be subordinate. I cannot work in fields like that. I have to be free to be me. Now, we need people to work in all jobs. All jobs are needed. Somebody's got to fly the plane, dig the yard, process the food. They're honorable jobs. We need them. I told a dishwasher client of mine, your job is very honorable. I love you. He said, why? You keep the dishes clean for me to eat on. Who wants to eat on dirty dishes? Come on. Okay, you keep the place clean. So everything is every job that people take that serve other people in a good way. It's honorable. And what I did was I realized that, wait a minute, money. This money thing is going to keep coming up. Here's why. Here's why money comes up so much. There's such an emotional tie to money. See, the thing about money is this. I teach people, look, open your mind to all avenues of money coming to you, to all avenues. Don't shut the avenues off. We need money. We have necessary needs. We have unnecessary needs. Well, you can get both of them. Here's how you get both. You set your mindset. See, it's been said that the mind is a terrible thing to waste and that we use only certain much percentage of our brain. The key word is use. It is said that dolphins use about 20%. And it's said that humans use 10 to 7%. The key word is use. Money is the easiest thing to manifest. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to be bold and say it. Money is easy. Here's why it's so difficult to people. People think it's hard. And they think they got to get it a certain way. They think it has to come from a certain avenue. But the minute you relax, and let things flow, you'll find doors open up for you. Here's one thing about money. Here's one little trick I want to give people. If you have a money issue, you have trouble money coming in, let some go. Serious. If you want some money, give some money. I told my son the other day, he said, Dad, I only have $100 for the next 2 weeks for my personal thing for work and everything. What can I do? Give some away from the heart. He said, what? Yes, give some away. This works. I'm telling you, if people have money problems, that means they have fear about money. Believe me, on some level, fear. Money would love to come to you. All money is just energy from your work. When you're trading $1 for a cup of coffee, you're trading your energy for that energy put into making that coffee. That's all you're doing. And once you understand it like that, wait a minute, it's a great game. It's a game of giving and receiving. This is not religious. This is just what it is. It's a game of giving and receiving. So if you lack money, if you're worried about money, give some money away. I mean, that's one very simple thing I can give people right now, and it works. And when you give it away, you know it works. But do it from the heart. It works whether you're a good person or a bad person. Dig that. Doesn't matter if you're wicked or you're a saint. The same law works.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Wow. I love that.
I hope I answered the question. I kind of went off a little bit.
You absolutely did. JENETTA, we can't hear you.
I muted myself because my dog was going wah, and then forgot. I love it because that is the whole cycle of life. And I always say is a currency. It's a current. So you can't give without receiving. And it's so easy to go into that place of we've got to hold back to make sure that everything is all right. I've recently been going through just that, forgetting, not always forgetting, I'm aware of it, but aware that the giving and receiving is very, very important. As much as possible, I've given, but I'm aware that there's still something within me. And I think I think what I've noticed in you, I'd love you to answer on that, is that there's a part of me that understands the giving and receiving and the cycles and the currency. So it shouldn't really be happening anymore. Meanwhile, you've got to have an ebb for a flow. And I think that's part of the thing, is that one forgets that it's not about getting rid of the ebbs, it's how you handle the ebbs. Would you agree with that?
Yes, because the ebbs are your teachers. Those are your teachers. Those are your professors, the ebbs and the ups and downs. And I'll tell you something else about that, about the ebbs. It's very important. In metaphysics, in psychology, and in a lot of prosperity teaching, a lot of business courses, they teach you got to let certain things go. You got to let certain clients go. When you're selling, you got to know when to fold your bags up and leave the home, take your suitcase, computer, and go. Okay? You got to know when to let something go. In metaphysics, they mention releasing, the art of releasing. Here's something that most people don't tell you. For some, I don't know why they don't tell you. They probably don't know it, I'll be honest with you. When you release anything, it's very important to release something. Now, there's a void there. Here's the problem. They release it, they leave a void. If that void is there, you're open for anything to come in. Any thought, any other action come in. It can be counter to what you want to do. Here's the key right now. When you release something, be wide awake to catch something. Once you release something, say, now I'm gonna wait to catch something. Our problem with prosperity is this. Not only don't we don't know we deserve to have it, but we have to think about prosperity and think about money in particular. A lot of people avoid the word money. I want prosperity. Yes, you want, what does that mean? Prosperity is happiness, it's health and love and everything. Say, no, I desire more money. Right now, money. Yes, I want perfect health, unlimited wealth. I want money. How? What can I do to acquire more money, to receive it? It's already mine. It's already there. How could I receive it? And there are techniques you can use to get your mind to working to bring an answer to you. I do this every day. I get amazing results. Sometimes the results are slow. Sometimes they're fast. Sometimes they're boom, powerful results. By using my brain every day, doing certain exercises, ask questions, answers come, money show up if it's money, or whatever else I need, somehow shows up. If it doesn't show up, that's still an answer. You got to be willing to accept if it doesn't show up, that's an answer. But believe me, it's coming because it's there. It's there. Believe me, you may not catch it. You may not be aware. You may have missed it because of distraction. It is there. And I'll tell you something. Look outside. Look anywhere around you. See all the prosperity everywhere around you. There's no lack nowhere. You know what's lacking? We may be lacking the ability to get ours, but it's there. It's right in front of you. How do I get it? How do I attract and draw back which is mine by divine right? You see it, that means it's yours too. How do you get some of it to come to you? That's the work. That's the joy, and that's the fun. And you got to do it with joy and fun and be happy about it. And you can't let the thoughts of not having it get you. When those thoughts come in, you got to kick them out right away. Face them right away. I do this every day. I face it right away. I teach my students this, and it works. If you don't quit, it's going to work, period.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you, Doctor. A follow-up question I have to that, and then I'll go over to JENETTA. So I hear this a lot in the United States as to opposed to my friends who are outside the United States. I'll hear, I worked my whole life. I got to be XYZ age, and I shouldn't have to work anymore. The money should just be coming to me. And then, of course, there are a lot of people during the pandemic who switched careers and they're starting over again. And I say, you put so much energy into what you do not have instead of what you do have. And if you, I'm really just interested in me right now. I went and did charity things and I volunteer, but now it's the time of me. I don't know. I don't think this is a really positive attitude or positive energy, but what would you say to these people?
I would say two things. One, I would say, first of all, what are you expecting? What do you expect? What do you want? See, when things change, you have to change with them. Okay, what are you expecting out of your life right now? Yes, it is all about you. It is all about you. It is all about you. How can you help me if you don't help yourself? But here's the key. The key is this. It's all about you, but it's all about honing you to serve others. Who can you serve? What can you give? Who can you serve? It's all about you, but who can you serve? Who can you serve? It's all about me. I'm selfish in the sense that it's all about me, but it's all about me getting better so I can serve you. Who can I serve? What can I give? What can I give? What can I serve? Who can I help? Whose life can I make better? If you focus on that, you stop focusing on what you don't have, and then you make room to receive what you want. You have to make a space. You have to become comfortable in your own skin. You have to see good in everything and prosperity everywhere. This may sound hokey. You got to see prosperity everywhere. See good in everybody. See the good in everybody. And like I said, it may sound hokey or sound cheesy. I tell you something. If you do it, see, I've gone from being flat broke, sitting in the park for 8 or 9 hours a day, seeing the beauty, not knowing where the next dollar coming from, to earning $5,000, $7,000, $1,500 an hour, $100,000 in 1 month. I started out with zero in my pocket, but with the hope and thought of what I have right now. And I've been zero, startled, the next day startled with $2,000 out of the blue, having nothing. You know what I did? I wrote $2,000 down on a piece of paper one day. This is what I want. This is what I desire. I made a phony check ledger, $2,000, right there in that ledger. Boom. A lady called me an hour later that I've been trying to contact for a whole year. Tamir, I've been trying to get a hold of you. We started talking. What are you doing? I'm coaching now. I just decided I'm going to be a coach. I'm coaching now. Okay, well, okay, we talked about it. What's the fee? I said $2,000. She said, okay, I'll do it. I almost fell off my chair. She said, okay, I'll do it. Okay. Now, here's what my fear did. I'll start. Did that just happen? Did I just write a ledger, a checkbook ledger, and put $2,000 in it? And I'm going to spend this money. Okay. And an hour later, someone called me. I've been trying to contact for a year. She decided to coach with me. I gave her a price. She took it. I was really kind of nervous and scared. So I went to my little closet. I did my little meditation. And what just happened? She called back on the phone. We got a problem. What? My husband didn't expect me to pay the whole $2,000 up front. He wanted $1,000 and $1,000. I said, listen, just take a deep breath. You're just a little nervous. That's just fear. I had the fear, but she calmed down and yada, 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 yada. Before you know it, it was all clear. And that's how my coaching career started, like that. Just startling that happened like that. So from then on, it's been like that. So a lot of times we get in our own way. We let our own fears get in our way. But if you just state what you want and put it down, and I'll tell you a trick about what I just said. A friend of mine told me one day, well, that's not even real. It is real. The money you use every day is the same thing. It's just energy. It's the same thing. You put money in a check register, or you go to ATM, that money is all electronic. Okay, you can think the same thing. You can think the same thing. Just think the same thing. In other words, start thinking in ways that are prosperous. Watch what happens. See, we so caught up into whether something work or not. Just do the work, let the magic happen. Put that work in. PTWI. Put that work in. The work is here. Just put it in. It's not going to hurt anything. If you want, you can think broke or think prosperous. I'd rather think prosperous. I'd rather think I have the money. I'd rather see the money coming to me. Why not? Why think the other way? We get what we think about. Bill Gates is where he is because of the way he thought. Period. Anyway.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I love that. You know, something else that you touched on, and Jeanette, I promise I'll go over to you right now, is that we don't know our own worth. You put a number out there and somebody said, yes, you know what? I agreed to that number. But so many times we go, no one's going to pay this. I feel stupid asking for this. And we undervalue ourselves. And then we start giving things away we feel sick about ourselves. Like, really? Is that what I think I'm worth? $50? By the way, we have a comment from Cheryl Millen. Hi, Cheryl. Loved what you said on World Jenny Day. I was just flicking through Facebook and I caught you again in this program. I learned to charge more for my services, what they're worth after doing a life coaching course and having a vision board. Never look back. I've had a great rise all around this year. God bless you. Thank you, Cheryl. Jeanetta, over to you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, for me, I so agree that vision and that faith and that trust that it is always omnipresent. It is a big thing, and omniscient and omnipresent is a big thing, because there's an illusion that there's a separation to it. And one of the things I've noticed with my clients, the moment they're running a story of saying, okay, you know, I've worked so hard and now it's my time, me time, is that they haven't worked out. They're in a place of fantasy, believing that going into their time and their me time will give them a lifestyle that feels joyous and easy and flowing. And they haven't worked out where what won't work in that lifestyle. So they're in this illusion and fantasy of this will sort out all the difficulties I've had before. But when they can start going, oh, this is what won't work if I just go off and do exactly the way I want to do it. These will be the downfalls. But if I believe and vision and focus that it's possible in the most balanced, prosperous ways, then those ebbs and flows become manageable and a less of a nightmare. Because if you're in fantasy, you're going to go into nightmare. But the moment you can in what will and won't work into manageability, then that flow becomes joyous, because you're understanding that when it's not working, there's a hidden happening with it that's going to help it to work, and vice versa. So it goes into that place of ebb and flow in manageability rather than a tsunami. You go, whoa.
Right.
And that's what I say to people is it's not about going off and doing exactly the way you want, because the chances are you haven't factored in what won't work. And when you bring both in to manageability, then you can sit in that place I love you talking about. It's so infectious, of being able to say, I vision it, I know it, it's there, it's present. There's an illusion that it's missing. Would you agree, Dr. Tamir?
Yes, I totally agree, because it's a feeling. When you look at your feelings, you can't feel sad and feel happy at the same time. You can't feel prosperous and poverty at the same time. You can't be angry and happy at the same time. Okay, so knowing that, the better you feel, you really hit on something very powerful. And the better you feel about something, I teach people this, even my own offspring. Listen, how do you feel about your money situation right now? How do you feel about it? Well, I feel this, I feel confused, I feel bad. Great. And I say great for this reason. You feel that way. Have you noticed that you're getting what you feel? Have you noticed that? Well, no, I don't have any money. No. Let's reverse that. You feel a certain way and you have a certain situation. How about this? Well, how can I feel good if I don't have this or have that? That's the point. You got to see it first before you get it. You got to see it. People say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, that's backwards. Okay. You have to see it first, romance it, get into the feeling of it. That feeling of it is going to change your vibration. You're going to get certain thoughts to take you toward it. Things are going to come towards you. And before you know it, you're in your promised land. And forget about time. Forget about time. Forget about how long it's going to take. If you give up, it didn't work. Okay, you're still in the same spot. It's not going to hurt you to feel good about it. It works. I know it works. And there are certain techniques and things you can do. There are a lot of them. I don't have the only techniques to do it. There are techniques and things you can do to develop the skill set of thinking in prosperous, abundant money ways. I say the word money on purpose. Even a lot of metaphysicians, a lot of self-help people, they want to avoid to use the word money. No. Money. Prosperity is a lot of things. Say money. Say money is my friend. Say it, declare it. And whenever you get thoughts about money that are contrary, that are broke thoughts, sit yourself down, sit your behind down, and purposely close your eyes and get quiet and purposely say some affirmation that click with you and keep saying it, keep feeling good about it. I will guarantee you something right now if you did that. I will guarantee anybody something right now. If you kept doing that, that feeling, that thought has got to change. It has to. Your mind cannot occupy feeling good and feeling bad at the same time. It can't do it. So you're going to fight the other feeling. You're going to stand up to it. You're not going to whimper out to it. You're not going to whimper out. You're going to, if it comes hard, fight it hard. If it comes hard, hit it hard back until it runs. And now you're in a certain mindset. You cannot achieve a certain thing, a certain mindset. It's like being around somebody, have a negative attitude. Everybody can feel it. So when you have a broke attitude, guess what? Everybody can feel that too. No one's going to rush to you. Money's not going to rush to you. Opportunity's not going to rush to you. You're on a different frequency.
Yeah, I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you very
too.
much. Food for thought for all of us. We're actually at the end of our show. I hope you're going to be coming back. And Doctor, we have you down today for Woman's Prerogative. Will you be joining us at 1 p.m. PST?
Yes. One of my favorite talks. I picked that for a reason.
Fantastic.
That woman power. I love that. I love that.
Fantastic. JENETTA, will you be joining us then as well?
Yes, I'll be there. I will be there.
For JENETTA, it'll be 11 p.m. So thank you, Jeanette, for going the day with us.
I'm in Africa, Dr. Tamir.
Oh, wow. What part of Africa? What part of Africa?
Kenya.
I plan to visit Botswana. I was going before COVID, Botswana and Ghana. I want to go to the Ivory Coast for historical reasons and Botswana.
My son Neil, up until this year, lived 8 years in Botswana, mostly in the Okavango Delta.
Right. Awesome.
Fabulous. I just wanted to show Cheryl's comment before we Depart, thank you again, Cheryl, for engaging. We need to think bigger because it happened already and be grateful for it. Words carry power too. Being grateful for little creates space to allow more to come. If you're complaining and feeling deprived, you're focusing on the negative. Positive mindset and positive words attract positive things. Wonderful. Thank you. Dr. Tamir, how can people get in touch with you? You have a link for people to actually reach out. Tell us more.
Well, they can reach out to me by email right now to get a copy of my free book. I got a book called Click and Grow Rich. I'm giving out the samples now. That's a gift I want to give out. Click and Grow Rich. Email me. I'll email you a copy. You can also book me for a 20-minute no-fee coaching strategy planning consultation. And my book me link is right there at bookme.name/TamirQadree.com. My website is TamirQadree.com. It's under construction now. We're doing some changes right now, so it's up and running. When that comes up, my website is TamirQadree.com. When it comes back live, we're doing some maintenance right now. So I'd love to hear from you and take me up on my offer and see what happens. I don't can coach. I'm not a book coach. I'm not phony. I take what you give me. My coaching is designed specifically for you. I guarantee you that. So that's what I do.
Thank you so much, sir. We look forward to seeing you later today for A Woman's Prerogative. Thank you so much.
I love it. I love that subject.
All right, bye for now. Fabulous guest, yes?
Oh, wonderful. Just such a breath of fresh air, and it's so needed after people feeling stuck in COVID as being the truth, and post-COVID and the fallout and all those things. It's just so needed, that type of talk.
Yes, definitely. And we do have a question about the email address to get his free copy of his ebook. It's Tamir, TAMIR @ESTEEMENT.com. All right, JENETTA, what is the best way for people to reach out to you, and who would you like to have contact you?
Well, the best way to reach me is you can get me on my email address, which is JENETTA, JENETTA @theepiphanyprocess.com, or you can reach out to me at theepiphanyprocess.com. And the person or people to reach out to me is anybody who feels compromised by what they're feeling and unable to express themselves without feeling fearful or judgmental. And it's not about getting rid of what's happening around that's challenging you. It's how you handle that fearfulness and judgmentalness so that you can speak from the heart and from a place of transparency and the truth. And when you learn to do that in challenging times, people really get you. They start understanding where you are. So your communication channels become clearer, even in the times of greatest adversity. So if you'd like to learn how to express yourself from your heart without fear or judgment, or being fearful and judgmental of yourself, please chat to me, because those new conversations will bring new beginnings in your life. So yes, I look forward to hearing from you.
And JENETTA, what's about to happen right after this show?
Oh, yes, we're going on to Talking Heads. I'm a Talking Head expert on USA Global TV, and we're going in today into talking about dealing with family dynamics and politics. And I don't think, they always say you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. They're kind of a part and parcel of who we are. And for those who don't particularly have a family, we always have family energy around us. So if you'd like to know more about dealing with those dynamics and those politics, stay tuned and join me for the next half an hour from the top of the hour for half an hour. I'd love to have you with me.
All right. Thank you so much. JENETTA and I are really happy to have everyone watching and listening. And thank you, Cheryl, for engaging with us. We absolutely love
Thank
that.
you,
We
Cheryl.
look forward to having you, Cheryl, on a future show. So please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com/book your session. All right. We are signing off. JENETTA will be back momentarily in less than 10 minutes. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Tamir.
Bye, all.
Bye.